Get ready with your books, children. Open your English book Moments, page number 23, lesson number 4 in the Kingdom of Fools. So before we begin reading the page, we will do a quick recap. We have seen that in the Kingdom of Fools what happens. We have seen that how the people have changed the work to be done in day to night because of the foolishness of the king and the minister. A sage and his disciple come to the place. When they see what is happening there, first they were very happy because the food cost was very low, but when they see that how they have changed the system, the guru decides that it is not safe to stay there. But the disciple insists on staying there because everything is cheap. So the guru leaves him and he goes away. Now we have also seen that a thief was killed when he went to burgle the house of a rich merchant, because when he was coming after the loot, the wall was weak and it falls on him and he dies on the spot. The thief's brother complains to the king and wants justice. So the king calls for the merchant whose house it was. The merchant blames the bricklayer. The bricklayer in turn blames the dancing girl for his distraction. The dancing girl blames the goldsmith who makes her come up and down the street. Now at last the goldsmith was summoned by the king, and now he tries to escape the punishment by telling the king that he could not complete the dancing girl's order because of a rich merchant. He was wanting the goldsmith to finish his order first, and that is why he could not complete the dancing girl's order. So now the king wants to know that who is this rich merchant who has caused the death of an innocent man. So we shall now begin with the reading of the lesson. Open page number 23 and we will begin reading. The goldsmith named the merchant, and he was none other than the original owner of the house whose wall had fallen. Now justice had come full circle, thought the king. Back to the merchant. When he was rudely summoned back to the court, he arrived crying, "It wasn't me but my father who ordered the jewelry. He is dead. I am innocent." But the king consulted his minister and ruled decisively. "It's true, your father is a true murderer. He is dead. But somebody must be punished in his place. You have inherited everything from that criminal father of yours, his riches as well as his sins. I knew at once, even when I first set eyes on you, that you were at the root of this horrible crime. You must die." And he ordered a new stake to be made ready for the execution. As the servants sharpened the stake and got it ready for the final impaling of the criminal, it occurred to the minister that the rich merchant was somehow too thin to be properly executed on the stake. He appealed to the king's common sense. The king too worried about it. "What shall we do?" he said, when suddenly it struck him that all they needed to do was to find a man fat enough to fit the stake. The servants were immediately sent all over the town looking for a man who would fit the stake, and their eyes fell on the disciple who had fattened himself for months on the banana and rice and wheat and ghee. Turn the page, children. What have I done wrong? I am innocent. I am a sannyasi, he cried. That may be true, but it's the royal decree that we should find a man fat enough to fit the stake, they said, and carry him to the place of execution. He remembered his wise guru's words. This is a city of fools. You don't know what they will do next. While he was waiting for his death, he prayed to his guru in his heart, asking him to hear his cry wherever he was. The guru saw everything in a vision. He had magic powers. He could see far, and he could see the future as he could see the present and the past. He arrived at once to save his disciple, who had got himself into such a scrape through love of food. As soon as he arrived, he scolded the disciple and told him something in a whisper. Then he went to the king and addressed him, O wisest of kings, who is greater, the guru or the disciple? Of course the guru, no doubt about it. Why do you ask? Then put me to the stake first, put my disciple to death after me. So with this we finish the reading of these 2 pages, and now we will listen to the explanation of the lesson of these pages. So when the goldsmith is asked about the name, that who is this person who has caused the death of an innocent man, the goldsmith takes the name of the merchant, rich merchant. The rich merchant was the father of the same person on whom the blame was put earlier. So the rich merchant was summoned again. He pleaded his innocence on the ground that the jewelry had been ordered by his father. But the foolish king told the merchant that he had inherited his father's sins in the same way as he had got his wealth. Hence he must be executed for the killing of the burglar. A new stake. So now what does he do? The king, he ordered a new stake for the execution. However, moments before the killing, the king's minister, he observed that the merchant was too thin for the new stake. So he consults with the king, and it was decided to find a person who fitted the stake. Now, so what happened? Did you understand? In the stake, the merchant was to be put for death punishment. He was thin, and the stake was for a person who was a little more fatter. So now they thought they cannot put this person there. So what happened? They sent the bailiff in search of a person who will be fit for the stake. In the meantime, this disciple who had stayed back in the kingdom of fools had gone fat after eating bananas, rice, wheat and ghee for days. So these people, when they were searching for a person to fit the stake, their eyes fell on the disciple who had fattened himself for months on bananas, rice, ghee and wheat. He was caught to be killed in place of who? In place of the merchant. The disciple pleaded that he was a sannyasi and had not done anything wrong. But the king's men did not listen to him. And they said that no, we are told by our king that we have to search for a person who is fat enough to fit the stake, and we are going to take you there. Now this disciple, he remembered what his guru had told him, that this is a city of fools and you don't know what they will do next. So he was reminded of his guru, and while waiting for death, he prayed to him in his heart for help. The guru had magical powers and he saw everything in a vision. He arrived at once to save his disciple. He first scolded the disciple and then whispered something in his ears. Then he started admiring the king for his wisdom. The guru urged the king to put him to death in place of his disciple. So for your homework, children, read page number 23 and 24 and write these meanings given here neatly in your English fair copy.